25,000 French knights stood in shining armor. Across from them, only 6,000 English soldiers remained. By nightfall, 10,000 French lay dead in the mud. England lost fewer than 400 men. Agincourt, 1415, where medieval warfare collapsed. The setting, a day destined for disaster. October 25, 1415. Northern France, near the village of Agincourt. Dawn breaks over a narrow, mist-filled valley. On one side stands the French army, the full pride of French nobility. Dukes, counts, barons, armored knights. They outnumber the enemy more than 4 to 1. They are rested, well-fed, fighting on home soil. In their minds, the battle is already over. Opposite them waits the English force. 6,000 men, mostly peasant longbowmen. Mud-soaked boots, empty stomachs, shaking hands. Many are sick. Many have not slept for days. Their king, Henry V, burns with fever. To the French, this is not a battle. It is an execution. Why these armies met here? This clash did not begin at Agincourt. It began decades earlier, with crowns and bloodlines. England and France were locked in the 100 Years' War. By 1415, England was weak. Plague, rebellion, and an empty treasury. No one expected an invasion of France. But Henry V did. Young, disciplined, and relentless. He needed victory to secure his throne. In August, Henry landed in France. He captured the port of Harfleur. But disease ravaged his army. Men collapsed in the streets. Supplies vanished. Hundreds died without ever seeing battle. By October, retreat was the only option. Henry marched toward Calais. France moved faster and cut him off. France assembles its war machine. France did not come to negotiate. They came to annihilate a trapped king. 25,000 soldiers assembled. 10,000 armored knights for close combat. 4,000 elite cavalry for crushing flanks. 6,000 heavy infantry pushing from behind. 2,000 crossbowmen and 3,000 archers. They also carried old wounds. Crécy, Poitiers. 70 years of humiliation. Agincourt would be revenge. Henry stood cornered, outnumbered, and exhausted. The night before battle, October 24th. Rain falls without mercy. The clay soil turns into sucking mud. In the English camp, there is no fire, no food, no shelter. Men huddle under soaked cloth. Across the valley, French nobles feast. Wine flows, bread breaks, meat roasts. Laughter echoes through the night. Some Polish armor for the victory parade. Henry gathers his commanders. His voice is weak, but steady. Tomorrow, we may die, he says. But if we die fighting. The English camp falls silent. Only rain and distant laughter. The battlefield revealed. Morning fog lifts. The land reveals its shape. Two dense forests press inward. Between them, a narrow corridor. Too tight for an army to spread. Henry did not choose this ground. The ground chose him. English forces form a thin line. Longbowmen anchor both flanks. Sharpened wooden stakes bite into the mud. The French deploy like a rising tide. Front line, 10,000 knights. Dismounted. Mud forces them off their horses. Second line, 6,000 men at arms. Wings, 2,000 cavalry on each side. Rear, archers and reserves. The armies stare at each other. Nothing moves. Henry's gamble. France waits for hunger to finish England. Henry knows waiting means death. He makes a move no one expects. Advance the banners. English longbowmen pull up their stakes. They advance several dozen paces. Then drive the stakes back into the mud. It is an insult. A direct challenge. Then comes the second blow. 200 hidden archers fire from the woods. Arrows slash into shields and horses. Hunting calls echo in mockery. French pride snaps. A shout breaks the line. Charge! The French cavalry collapses. French cavalry surges forward. Horses sink, slip, and panic. Formation shatters instantly. Arrows rain down. Visors crack. War horses fall screaming. Panicked riders crash back into their own infantry. Chaos spreads before contact is made. Within minutes, the cavalry is broken. France's greatest weapon dies first. The steel wall enters the trap. 10,000 French knights advance on foot. Arrows cannot pierce their armor. But joints shatter. Tendons sever. Breath fails. By the time they reach the stakes, they bleed. Their armor becomes a furnace. They crash into the English line. But the mud drags them down. Now the trap closes. English men at arms brace behind stakes. Longbowmen fire endlessly overhead. French plate armor becomes a prison. English lighter gear becomes survival. The deadliest mistake. The second French line pushes forward. 6,000 men press from behind. They do not reinforce the attack. They bury it. Bodies and steel crush together. Those who fall cannot rise. Those standing are forced forward. Henry sees it clearly. He speaks softly. Hold. Let them come. And they do. Blind. Suffocating. Sinking. The bows fall silent. Then the longbowmen drop their bows. They take axes, mallets, knives. They rush from the flanks. Quick in the mud. Faster than trapped steel. They stab through gaps in armor. They tear off helmets. They push knights face first into the mud. Many drown where they fall. The valley becomes a grinder. Henry fights in the front line. Behind him, French reserves freeze. 5,000 French troops hesitate in the rear. Advance or live. They have never seen nobles die like this. They choose survival. They withdraw without striking. Those who can stand retreat. Those who cannot vanish beneath bodies and mud. By early afternoon, the field falls silent. Aftermath and legacy. 10,000 French dead. Many among Europe's greatest houses. English losses, around 400. A ratio that defies medieval warfare. Mud, discipline, and longbows defeated numbers. Agincourt shattered the myth of the armored knight. It unleashed the longbow as a weapon of terror. It broke the confidence of a kingdom. And from the mud rose Henry V. Forged by hunger, sickness, and resolve. A king who reshaped the war. If you want more moments where history turns, subscribe to The Turning Point and continue the story.